time out then. We're at Monza in the Group 4 Aston Martin Vantage for today's daily race as we continue our grind towards driver rating S. We're still trying to make our way there slowly but surely. Starting in 8th position then, 10 lap race. Fuel usage and tyre usage are on, so we are going to have to pit for fuel and tyres at some point. And as we round the final corner then and we get underway, the game gives us control and we hurtle down to turn 1 for the first time, hoping for the best in the braking zone here. Certainly a risky one on the opening lap of the race particularly, and we've got a car closing right up on us, got a good run on us. We're going to move to the left by the look of it here, pick our braking point. We see him trying to go up the inside, we move back to the middle of the circuit, but we give him space and he's alongside us and he gets hit from behind by the look of it, and there's a ghosted car there as well. There's another car now on our right hand side as we exit the corner. There's a little bit of contact there possibly, but we give him the room and we slot him behind, and so we exit the first chicane in 9th position. That could have been worse. I did give room to the car on the inside, I didn't want to risk anything, and we come out of it pretty much unscathed as we head down now to the second chicane, put it down to fuel mix 3 now, try and do a bit of fuel saving as we move. We go defensive as the car moves on our outside, but he has nowhere to go, he has to slot in behind, and we exit the corner and take quite a bit of curb through there. Wasn't bad that lap, and into Lesmo 1 and up to fuel mix 2 now as the cars ahead of us doing battle side by side. Hopefully they'll slow each other down and give us a bit of a chance to close up. Back to fuel mix 1 now as we enter the next fast section of the circuit. See that car looming large in the mirror. Certainly slipstream is pretty powerful here as you'd imagine, and yeah, bearing down on us but not able to make a move as we brake under the bridge down to 3rd gear, tip it in, be careful not to cut the corner. You can get hefty penalties, 10-second penalties for cutting the corner there, so we take it careful, out to the curb on the right hand side on the exit and onto the throttle as early as we can, and pretty much stalemate there between us and the cars around us by the look of it. So overall pretty clean first lap, a little bit of contact in the first corner, but nothing we can do about that, and we're certainly in the race now well and truly. Although we have got some really quick guys ahead of us, I think it will be difficult to make any headway in this race, but we'll do our best and see what we can do. Maybe by saving a little bit of fuel in that middle sector, we'll be able to slightly undercut people in the pit stops, but it's difficult to save much here. Obviously you need fuel mix 1 for pretty much most of the lap, to be honest. If you run any less you just get absolutely swallowed up in the slipstream here. And there's an incident there ahead of us, so we gain 2 positions there, we go straight up to 9th. There's another ghosted car there in front, I'm not sure what happened. Obviously a bit of argy-bargy down to the first corner, as I say. It does seem to happen an awful lot, even when safety rating S races, and we've got a bit of a run here on the car ahead of us. It's not going to be enough though, I don't think, so we've already switched it down to fuel mix 3 because we'd have had nowhere to go anyway, so we've saved the extra little bit of fuel. Braking down again now into 2nd gear, cut the chicane there. You can pretty much cut that completely there by the look of it, we don't get any warning. You can really ride the curbs, especially in these Group 4 cars. You can absolutely attack the curbs, no danger of losing traction or being thrown off, which is nice after driving the Group 3 cars last time out, where you have to be really careful on the curves. You can easily lose traction, especially through Ascari. You have to be very cautious, and especially as the rear tyres wore, but in these cars you can pretty much nail the throttle, and it makes it good fun, to be honest. As we brake again under the bridge, 3rd gear, missed our apex there a little bit. Yeah, had to be a bit hesitant on the throttle there, that wasn't great, and that was a shame because we closed up a little bit there, down towards the braking zone. We've now got the BMW M4 right behind us there. Doesn't quite have the straight line speed though of this car. It's a good all-round car for sure, and it's the quickest Group 4 car it appears to be at the moment on a lot of circuits, but I think here it just doesn't have the legs for the top end. I think we'll see that now. As he does, he's probably quicker than us slightly through the corners at the moment. Gets a good exit, he's well in slipstream range here, but I think once we hit 6th gear, we'll just have enough. He moves to the left, we stay defensive on the right hand side, but as you can see, as soon as he's moved out of slipstream, he's actually dropping back a little bit as we move across there into the braking zone. He's got nowhere to go, so he slots in behind us, but yeah, it hurts you in the race here. You can see a massive train of cars behind us as well. One small incident here and we could be well outside the top 10. So it's certainly close, and close with the 3 cars ahead of us as well, who are slightly eking away now. And I think we'll have to focus now our attentions on defending this position rather than attacking the cars in front. As we break down again for this corner, and he does go for a dive bomb once. We braked a little bit early there. We did misjudge our braking point a little bit early. He went down the inside, we gave space. We then had the inside for the second part of the chicane, and we hold the position. We keep it in fuel mix 2 this time, moved to the inside again as he was looking to put his nose into the first Lesmo, but we managed to just about close that off. And we hold on to the position again. It's important here to just clip that curb, get on full power as early as you can, limit your use of the curb on the outside because it hurts your traction. And away we go. We got a little bit of a better run on him there, a little tiny bit of breathing space now. But as you can see, he probably is quicker than us, certainly with the slipstream. He is quicker behind us, but making the move is difficult when you don't have the straight line speed, and that's why the M4 loses out here in race trim, that's for sure. That was better that time. We used the curb on the right hand side there in the middle of the corner to straighten up our exit. As I say, you can do that with these Group 4 cars much easier and than you can in the Group 3s, as there's now possibly going too wide into here behind us, and the BMW lurches down look down the inside, but nowhere to go. And we're taking the slow in, quick out approach into this corner. Several times you might see them closing up on the brakes in the mirror there, but we're doing it to try and get as good an exit as possible onto this obviously massive straight. Huge train still behind us, everyone just slipstreaming each other, but nobody is able to make a break at the moment. You're sort of holding your breath here into the braking zone, but people aren't going to do anything stupid or misjudge their braking point, and that looks to be nice from everyone involved. Safety rated S, so you'd hope that everyone can behave themselves, and so it proved there. And we exit the corner again, but we do lose time in the braking zone there. I know we were running slightly rearward brake ballast to try and help us in the middle sector of the lap. I think it probably was hurting us a little bit into turn 1. We just weren't that efficient under heavy braking as we stayed to the inside here, because we've been hit several times in races in the past into this corner where people go for lunges down the inside, so we stop him even thinking about that by going to the middle of the circuit, even though I think looking in the mirror there he was a little bit too far back really to go for a move, but he's right on our gearbox again now as we go to nail this crucial exit. And we hit the curb there, we're back into full throttle pretty early, better exit than him again. So we continue to hold on to 7th position here, and looks like there might have been a little bit of an incident or contact with the couple of cars ahead of us. Gained a little bit of time back there by the look of it. Braking down again for this corner, and we've hit the apex again, and now ride this curb on the right hand side and then straighten it up as soon as you can and up to 4th gear. Again, limit your curb use on the right hand side there to exit the corner. The car ahead of us makes a bit of a mess of it, so that has gained us a little bit more time. We're eking that gap back down a little bit now, and we've taken that tidy the last couple of laps, and it's crucial to gaining a good lap time. So yeah, we exit onto the straight again. A little bit of tyre wear there on the front left particularly. We'll feel that on this 5th lap. I think we'll be pitting probably the end of this lap for fuel and tyres. Pretty much nailed on end of lap 5, end of lap 6, but I think we'll go lap 5 just so you get the best of both sets of tyres. And brake down again, 1st gear, take a nice bit of curb there, then try to straighten the exit as best you can onto full throttle as early as possible. And definitely closing on the Aston ahead of us, and brought on a bit of a battle, which is definitely slowing them down, particularly into big braking points like we just saw there into turn 1. It definitely cost you time as they move side by side now, so we're just going to keep an eye on this and capitalise if there is any mistakes ahead. And braking down again, 150 metre mark there I think it was, clip the curb and second curb, and we get a really good run there, but we have absolutely nowhere to go. We have to lift. We then quickly look behind us because we know the cars behind are going to get a big run on us. We had just nowhere to go there. Although we had a much more speed, we had nowhere to go, but they both run a bit wide. We go down the inside here. Are we going to get one or both? We go for the one, we get the braking point and nail the exit, and the BMW's followed us through as well, so he's lost at least a couple of positions there. Just by running wide, they both seem to, one followed the other there. The one ran wide and so did the other, and we capitalised, so did the car behind, and we're now up to 6th place and chasing down 5th. as we break into here again. As I say, I think we'll be pitting the end of this lap. Fuel mix 2 in here just for stability, just to eliminate any possible wheel spin and to save that little bit of fuel, as we mentioned earlier. Could be crucial in the pit stops. At the bottom there you can see we've got 3.3 laps remaining, and obviously 5 laps left to do, so we'll have to put some fuel in, but you know, fuel takes all the time in the pits, so if you can limit the amount of fuel you have to put in, it can definitely pay dividends in the pit stops. So it looks like the car ahead is going to pit as well, so we're going to follow him in, and we do so. Set the hard tyres, and into the pit box we go. And the mechanics do their thing. And now we're just going to wait for this to go up. As soon as it goes above 5, which it does, 5.1, and we're straight out. And as you can see, we have just leaped the car behind us. So that has worked, saving that little bit of fuel. Being quick on the exit there has gained us the position. And so I think that's probably a net 5th position, possibly. We'll see what happens there with the cars ahead of us. So we've come out in 9th anyway. And we've got a good exit there from turn 1. As we power around here, full throttle, try and limit your steering input, got as little steering angle on the car as you can, to so you don't shrug off any speed and get maximum acceleration. So braking down again there at the 150 metre mark, and we do miss our apex a little bit, which means we have to hit the curb hard there, and we get a bit too early on the throttle there, a bit too eager on the throttle, lose the rear, and we've lost that place again straight away. So all that hard-earned fuel saving to gain a few tenths in the pits, and we've instantly thrown it away there by just losing it on that big sausage curve. We just lost the rear grip, but the car, he runs wide at the second Lesmo turn. He runs wide. We'll get a good run on him here, side by side now, leaving each other room, and it looks like we're going to be clear ahead by the braking point, are we? We're looking behind, we moved slightly to the centre of the track, and we can see he's going to brake too late here. We let him go, we brake early in the end, and position gained. He tried to hold it there on the inside. I could tell he braked too late. I knew we were on the limit. I could tell he was going to be dive bombing that, and yeah, we managed to avoid the collision there and gain the position. Often think it's true, you can't avoid all incidents, but if you're aware of what the car around you is doing, use your mirror, you can avoid incidents, as we did there. We just lifted off brakes, let him go, and let him run off the track and have his own accident rather than involving us, as it looks like the BMW that we were racing all race long is now ahead of us on circuit. I'm not quite sure how that's happened. We've got a good run on him here down into turn 1, and we're heavy on the brakes, and tip it in, and then try and straighten up the exit, avoid that inside curve because it just can make the car pitch and lose traction, and away we go. So we're going to have to try and hunt him down now. After keeping him behind us for the whole first stint, it now appears that we're behind him on circuit, but as we know, we have got the straight line speed advantage on him, but has he got the pace on us? And can he hold it then and extend his lead enough through the twisty bits to stop us going for a move on him? Tidier this lap on there, clipped that curb, but we just a bit more caution, just a fraction of a second later on the throttle on the exit, and that was enough to avoid wheel spin this time round, as we get a much better line through there than him. He's off onto the gravel as well. We moved to the inside to give him plenty of space, and position gained. So that's 2 positions gained just by drivers running slightly wide there. We hooked up a really nice line there, especially with the front tyres, fresh front tyres, able to attack. He did a bit too much, got locked into some understeer and slid off towards gravel, and that moves us into 7th position now, as we break down into Ascari again. Nice running on the curve there, and then cut back as early as possible back on the power. So we're in 7th place at the moment. Yeah, 6th place ahead of us there, a couple of seconds ahead, 2.5 seconds ahead I think that is, something like that. So yeah, I was sort of slightly disappointed to be in 7th at this point. I don't think the pit stops worked out that great for us. I think others have gone longer, as we can see 2nd place in the pits at the moment, so he's gone a couple of laps longer than us. So he's going to rejoin ahead of us though by looking at it, I think. Yeah, I think he was far enough ahead. I think he was one of the front runners early on. So we're going to cross the line in 7th. With a 157.736, I think that says. So our fastest lap of the race, but the fastest lap of the race overall is a 55.995. Now that is a amazing lap time to do in the race with fuel and tyre usage. I think my qualifying lap was only a 56.1, and I think it was only a couple of tenths in that maximum for me. So yeah, the top guys in these races, the driver rating S drivers, there is a couple of always amazing guys at the front who just dominate everyone else. We're in the battle most races between sort of 3rd and 10th, something like that, which if you can finish in those positions you will increase your driver rating every race, but those top couple are a step above everyone else for absolute sure. They've got the driving of these cars and these circuits absolutely nailed. As we just settle into our rhythm now, we've got a bit of nice gap behind us now, so no need to worry about cars behind for the first time this race really. And yeah, we've got that carrot ahead of us there, down to 1.5 seconds now, so we haven't made inroads on this lap. Can we catch him before the end? Only 2 laps to go, 2 and a bit laps to go, so I think it's going to be a bit of an ask, but we'll give it our best shot. We've got plenty of fuel, 2.5 laps of fuel, so we're half a lap over on the fuel, so we can afford to push now. Braking again down for this corner, get a bit of understeer there, and it just delays you hooking up the throttle on the exit. Definitely costs you time. I always prefer to be slow and fast out there, as I mentioned earlier, and try and hit that apex, but it's not always easy. You don't exactly want to lose time by braking early either. As we now go down to turn 1 again, get moved to the left hand side, ready to pick our braking point in between the 200 and 150 metre boards. In quali you can get pretty much on the 150 metre board, but in the race leaving that bit of a margin for error. As that's pretty tidy, back on the full throttle and down to 1.3 seconds now, so we are making slight inroads. Again, not quite sure it's going to be enough at current pace, but we'll keep pressuring. You never know, you might make a mistake, and if he does, we'll be there to capitalise. 7th, so we have moved up from our starting position, which is also crucial for your driver rating points, and clean race crucially so far as well, which is tricky at Monza. No safety rating warnings at the moment, so we're looking good on that front, so we could be looking to see a bit of a jump in both here if we can keep it clean and tidy for the remaining lap and a half of the race. Hit that entry curb again, ran out a bit wide that lap though, all onto the AstroTurf there, and it does hurt you. If you look at the delta time now between us and the car ahead, you can see him just eking away all the way down here, and that may well be our chance gone now. Hurts you so much all the way down this sector, and yeah, into the braking point now. We brake a little bit late for there as well, get a little bit of understeer, just trying to push a little bit too hard, ask a bit too much of the tyres. That front left again now, starting to wear, and you can definitely feel it under heavy braking. You can definitely feel you just can't lean on the tyre the same. So yeah, we come down now, braking for the final corner to go on to the final lap of the race. What we're looking at, about 2 minutes a lap just under here, so feels quick here, quick laps here. It's sort of quite a lot of just sitting around on full throttle, waiting for the next tricky corner or big braking zone. And the laps flew by, to be honest. I remember driving this at the time and thinking, wow, we're already on lap 10. I'm sort of disappointed that I was still in 7th at this point. I was hoping we'd see a few incidents or something to allow us to have a chance at maybe making our way towards top 5. You can see them there, and the gaggle of cars just leaving turn 1, making their way around turn 3. But we're just too far away, and yeah, it looks like we're 6th is our absolute ultimate here, but we're looking like we're pretty equal on pace with the car ahead, so 7th might be the best we can do. You do definitely find once you get into these high driver rating races, people just don't make that many mistakes, especially in the second half of the race when a lot of drivers are in clear air and just setting their lap times and doing their pace. You just don't see errors, and so you just don't get the easy position gains that perhaps you do at the lower driver rating levels. It's pretty intense, and yeah, you don't get many freebies, that's for sure. And again, we've made inroads slightly into the car ahead. I think we have got the pace edge on him by a few tenths a lap, but that error, or here on the last lap, really did end our chances, I think, of making a move. Yeah, you can't afford one error, and that's what we had, one error really in this stint, and it could well have cost us a chance to go in for 6th position. As we exit here and get up the throttle, and he's run wide as well. It's easy to do, and that will get us a bit of a run on him. I don't think it's going to be enough though. How much fuel we got left? 0.6 laps. So yeah, I'm always pretty pleased. You want to be running across the line pretty much empty to know that you've maximised your race. And we're not going to be far off that. And you can see we exit here onto the straight for the final time. And yeah, we would have definitely had a half a chance, I think, had we not made that error. We definitely made him rush into the car ahead. And we crossed the line in 7th position. So yeah, reasonably happy with that at the end. So you can see, you know, pretty close to say 4th position, and then 3rd position, a few more seconds ahead. So everyone reasonably close. You can see also we're one of only 2 drivers not to have a penalty any point during the race. You can see that by the red dots there on the right hand side. So we kept it clean, which is one of the main things we want to do. And where did the M4 end up in the end? He ended up down in 13th position. So yeah, second half of the race didn't work out too well for him, that's for sure. After that error, looks like he perhaps got involved in a few scraps after that. So yeah, that's another daily race down, and another small step towards getting that S rating. So we're making progress, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.